All right, everyone, welcome to Vegas for the seventh race? No, that's not the seventh race. It's the next race in the IWM Cup Series here on the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Souza here in the booth with Noah Evans. And Noah, we got a full field, 39 drivers so far tonight. Going to battle here in Vegas and push all their chips in for a possible win.
Yeah, I think this should be the fifth race, I believe, in the series, because we've had those three, and then Phoenix last week, Vegas this week. But hey, this is one of the best tracks on the schedule right here. This is pretty much anybody's game. We've seen in the IRL Cup Series, we've had guys like SVG run up front, who are usually road course ringers. This track really pays off to a lot of these guys here, and so tough. You got multiple grooves here, especially in turns 1 and 2. Much more different to run the high line up there than the low line, but this is one of the cooler tracks on the schedule, and super excited to just be back here. What a place to have a race here in Vegas.
Absolutely. And this is our 300th broadcast here on the IWM Broadcast channel, so we appreciate all of those who have tuned in over the past few years. We're excited for that milestone here, and glad you're able to join us here tonight. So looking forward to that. We've got a few minutes left of practice, and then we'll go into qualifying here. But lots to talk about here. Let's cover the standings right now in the IWM series. We've got Kyle Smalley sitting up on top.
Yeah, Smalley and Paleski just kind of in a world of their own there. Almost 40 points is the gap between them and Matthew David Wood, and even bigger is the gap for Jared Wish, and he's 44 points down. This top five really separated right now. But your top three there, all three of them with wins. But the standout driver right now, Kyle Smalley, 1 win, 3 top fives, 3 top tens, has not had a worse finish than inside the top 10 this season. He's looking to finish out strong.
Yeah, we were talking earlier off the air before we came on, talking about the current NASCAR point series. Looking back at Ty Gibbs, who's sitting right now in 10th compared to who's currently leading the points, Reddick, and there's 115 points separating those drivers. So I'm looking at our saying, you know what, we're not that far off the regular season drivers here in NASCAR.
No, not at all. And you have guys like Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace just in a world of their own as well. Well, these two guys have just been pure dominance so far this season, and I wouldn't expect Kyle Smalley to be out anytime soon of the playoffs. He's just been so strong all season long. You see the stage points and the bonus points he has as well. So keep an eye out on Smalley and Paleski as we get down to the wire towards the end of this season. They're going to be the ones to watch for sure.
Absolutely. Well, that's the current standings right now. We're watching those guys. That's the top 15, obviously. A lot of drivers out there. But let's talk a little bit about what to expect today and cover our keys to today's race.
So, yeah, tire management and long runs, obviously that's going to be one of the things we saw on Sunday. You really are going to have to start stretching your tires out a lot more. This track gets hot, it gets slick, really gets harder to run up on that low side there as the sun kind of dips down lower. Clean air and track position, you really want to kind of just, if you can run a different line than the guy on the bottom line, do it. Get out of that dirty air, get out from behind him, and just kind of run your own way. The more clean air you get, the better you're going to run. And like we said, multiple grooves and lane discipline. We haven't talked about lane discipline a whole lot this season. If you're going to run somewhere, stick to it, middle, high, low, wherever it's going to be, stick there. You don't want to wear your tires out more than you have to. So if you're going to run the middle, you might want to commit to that for a little bit longer than usual.
All right, that's the keys to tonight's broadcast. And just like that, let's talk about what the race info is for tonight. Here at Vegas, we've got 134 laps. We do have a stage break at lap 44. There are 3 sets of additional tires in the pits. There are no fast repairs here. So again, we've said it before, you break it, you own it. They do have 3 green-white checker attempts, and we're going to estimate that fuel window somewhere about 45 to 50 laps.
Yeah, and that stage break is really deep into this race here. It's getting close to that halfway mark. And these guys are really going to have to play a lot of strategy when it comes down to that stage break here.
All right, qualifying is underway here now in Vegas. We're looking to see who's actually on the track. Right now we got John Ledger, who's out there right now getting his qualifying time in.
Yeah, really good looking there. 17 Motorsports number 19 monster bad apple car, that chrome red shining off the Vegas sun here. Here comes his first timed lap. We'll take the green flag, and we have 2-lap qualifying. So just like the Cup Series, you'll see these guys. You can already see a lot of people, a lot of differentiation there. With the Ledger, goes from middle to bottom, and we'll see how that'll affect his tires as the run goes on tonight. Let's see what he'll take here. He'll take the bottom in 1 and 2. He says those little dots there, a lot of those are for like driving experiences and such, and that's really going to help these guys out as kind of a not rally point or a focal point for these guys that they can just kind of follow it through there. So you can see kind of sticking to the bottom in 1 and 2, stay below those dotted lines, and come up top. He will currently be in 7th spot, and is Aiden Lucas in the 34 in the first place spot.
Yeah, that's a pretty stout time at 29.779, but that's just their first lap. We'll see what that second pass can do.
He will go 13th.
Yep, other times are populating. Obviously, you see Andrew Pileshi put up a time of 29.74. Checking with Andrew right now, see where he is at.
Pileshi in the second place spot. Looks like he's going to be taking his white flag here, or checkered flag for Pileshi. He will go.
It was like the first.
Second spot.
It's like the first lap was the fastest lap, if you can believe it.
Yeah, looks like it. Don't see that a lot.
Michael Anthony finished up. He's currently sitting on top of the leaderboard. See who else is on the track. This is Garrett Johnson and the Factory HJ team.
Yeah, Factory HJ trying to climb their way up through the ranks here, sitting in the 8th spot with Garrett Johnson. Here's his last lap. Ooh, big hit with the wall there, and he'll go around. So these guys already kind of struggling here. But it's Kyle Smalley up in front with the number 51 machine.
Kyle Smalley is currently out there putting his name on top of the leaderboard. We've talked about Kyle a lot lately.
Yeah, and I think a lot is an understatement. He's just been so good this season, and let's see what his time will be here. If this was his last one, he's 0.02 of a second ahead of the field now. Checkered flag will fly. And first lap again, and that's something interesting to watch here. Is all these guys, their first laps are the fastest, which is not usually what we see with qualifying.
All right, see who else is on the track here. Ty Bostic, I think he's finishing up. Todd Merkel is finished. Calvin Allison is out there, that familiar paint scheme.
Good to see Allison back out in front. Obviously, last name being Allison. He'll run a Davey Allison tribute, looks like most of this season. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited for Darlington next week. See if anybody throws out some throwback schemes there.
Oh, yeah.
Always a great time. I've been to the 500, Southern 500 and the Goodyear 400 the last 3 years. Such a great racetrack to go watch a race set and a race set. But we're at Vegas, and great track here. Kind of similar, not similar to Darlington in a way, but this multi-groove here, that kind of difference between the turns is where I'm kind of drawing that similarity. But it is Sammy Harrell, who was almost dead last in practice, on pole position right now. Wow.
That's amazing.
Blazing fast lap.
All right, well, qualifying is almost over. We'll cover team points right after we get the grid to you. But just an amazing showing right now with Sammy Harrell. Looks like there's one other driver, Nathan Yarnell, who's finishing up. He's currently right now towards the back of the field. So it looks like GOAT Racing maybe on top of the leaderboard. So
it'll definitely be good for them if they can grab that spot there for sure. And Harrell has had some struggles this year. Struggled at Vegas Phoenix last week. Not in the top 16 in points currently. So maybe this could be the turnaround for the number 43 of Sammy Harrell as we get ready to grid.
All right, here we go.
Your starting lineup: Sammy Harrell on pole position, P1. His outside is the 51. Your points leader of Kyle Smalley. Row number 2 is Michael Anthony and Andrew Pileshi in the number 91. Row number 3 is Wyatt Gray and Aiden Lucas in P6. Row number 4, Jared Wishen and Maxwell Caldwell. And row number 5, running out the top 10, is the 93 of Bud Shearer and the P10 and 21 of Matthew Wood.
All right, in row 6, starting 11th is Justin Lewis with Aiden Kirker in P12. In row 7, you've got Garrett Johnston and Casey Herschel. In row 8, Roberto Ramirez and Walker Thomas. In row 9, Christoph Hall and Calvin Allison. And in row 10, you've got Alex Linney and Jeremy Brown.
Well, let's keep looking at the rest of this field here. Starting in 21st is Chuck Van Scoik, and in 22nd is Brian Jones. Row number 12 is going to be Maurice Burnett in the number 8 machine and Luke Bullard in the 3. Row number 13, Cody Sturgill in the 64 and Justin Horton in the 37, 25th and 26th. 27th and 28th, Matthew Greichen and Christian Elliott in the 63 machine. He'll be a fill-in driver tonight. John Ledger in 29th and Aaron Jackson in 30th.
All right, and in row 16, you got William Corinne and Ty Bostic back there, P32. Row 17, Jordan Weaver and Todd Merkel. Row 18, you've got Nathan Yarnell and Marco Berube. In row 19, David Watson, Austin Call. And rounding out our field in 39th, Ryan Pittman and J.R. Houston.
And I don't know if Call put in a time or not, but if that is the qualifying position, very unlike him to qualify that low. He's sitting 8th in points here. But we'll see if he can make that up tonight. He's got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Well, it's very easy here to make a mistake. As we saw, you catch a wall, and who knows what's going to happen there. So,
yeah, really, really tough racetrack to figure out. Really. It gets, like I said earlier, it gets slick, it gets hot. That bottom lane is going to rubber up quick, so if you can just kind of find where that grip is, I just run there the rest of the night. Obviously, the lane could possibly change as the run goes on, track gets hot, but that bottom lane, I think, for right now is going to be where we see a lot of the speed.
Yeah, one of the newest things you'll see, you will see drivers more trying to, as the race goes on and progresses, there'll be a lot more rubber on the track. We've seen the latest changes with iRacing that now puts those particles and artifacts on the track, so we'll see a lot of marbles on there. And as we go through restarts, you'll see drivers trying to scrub that off because that will build up on their tires.
Right, you are, and pace car lights are going to be off on the iRacing Mustang. And here we go. It's on Sammy Harrell and Smalley in the 51. And here we go. We are green through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. We're green at Las Vegas, so let's go racing.
All right, Kyle Smalley out in front as we're working through our first lap here, turn number 2, headed to the backstretch. 40 cars here through the IWM Cup Series, battling here in Vegas, our 5th event of the season.
These two drivers still side by side. Harrell and Smalley trying to duke it out here for this first place spot. Still side by side coming off turn 4. And looks like Sammy Harrell will lead lap number 1.
Kyle Smalley's not willing to give it up. He's still door to door here, but Sammy Harrell gets credit for leading the lap. As Kyle Smalley
running on the outside.
Yep, he finds a spot and takes over first place.
Smalley now to the lead, and I feel like we've said that a lot this year with that, watching that number 51. He's been so good all year. You can see really squirrely there. Looks like that may have been Caldwell in the 94, getting a little bit close to that wall there. And we are single file racing, and I kind of expect that early on here. Take a look at that number 34 machine there. Caution's out. Lap 3. Yep, lap 3. Caution's out already. Let's see what happened here. Oh, big crash there. Contact.
A number of drivers
involved. They are still wrecking.
Yeah, 23 is involved.
Oh, man.
Aiden Kirker, he's, I think, a relatively new driver to the series, definitely involved there.
Who's that in that machine there?
Luke Bullard, that's the 85 of Aiden Kirker. But I see also Luke Bullard involved, Marco Berube, J.R. Houston, Chuck Van Scoik, not very happy. Sure that 23 is not happy. Let's try to figure out just what happened here.
All right, let's take a look here.
So I'm watching that 85. I'm not really sure if that's the right place to look, but we'll take a peek here.
Yeah, you can see how quickly everybody got single file there. Obviously, it's, you know, a whole different story back there, but really got in single file pretty much through the 20s here. That's a few strays here. So there's, keep an eye on the 85 and the 49. Looks like they were already wrecking up front, possibly.
There's a little bit of contact there.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what it was, because I saw a puff of smoke. Yeah, right there, there's a puff of smoke up front. So maybe it was some
looking up
wreck
front
avoidance.
to see if there's anything happening up front. Try a different, take a little bit of a spotter cam or.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see here.
I don't see. This is where that wreck occurred.
Yeah, because I saw Van Scoik going around.
Yep. Trying to see what happened to him.
Still smoking there. Looks like it's even farther up front than that.
Trying to leverage the blimp here, see if we can see anything. This is way at the front here. I don't see anything there. Coming back farther.
Yeah, it looked like it may have just happened with the 85. I don't know how. Okay, yeah, there he goes. He gets into. Let's see there. Okay. So 85's in the wall there. Let's see how he got into Van Scoik. So keep an eye out on the 85 here. There's the 49. So coming off the corner, looks like the 49 catches him just a little bit. Guess 85 unsettled there into the wall. So hit there.
Unfortunately, he's right at the top of the high groove. So
yeah, he is. No, I mean that's hard to avoid that at that point. That's a split-second decision. So let's see. Ooh. Yeah, Van Scoik just.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of contact there, but.
Yeah, I'm sure he can get away with that. He didn't get hit again. I don't think. Yeah, he didn't get hit again. So that shouldn't be too much damage for the 23.
Yep.
Should be a relatively quick caution here as we get ready to go back to green already. Pace car lights. It took us a whole, 3 laps, 4 laps to figure that out?
Yeah, apparently. Well, we kept thinking it was more than that. That little bit of rub on the tail, on the the left rear of Aiden Kirker was. I thought it was going to be more than that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I kept trying to figure out what that puff of smoke was as well. I couldn't figure out what that was there. But we get ready to go back to green, and it's on Smalley. And if you saw in the broadcast the gap that Smalley already had, I mean that's if he can sustain that for the whole race, he'll be good as gold. I think honestly that's what he'd like to see.
He absolutely would. All right, pace cars got the field pretty much coming off of turn 4 as they head towards the start-finish line. Get this race back underway.
Let's get ready to go back to green through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Green flag has flown. A little bit of a stack up there. A lot of movement going on. 3 wide already. Here comes Andrew Pileshi looking up to the inside. Let's see how he can make this work.
Yeah, something happened with the 43. He just got caught there looking. And that Pileshi did get the wise thing. He just came down low and worked his way around him.
Yeah, really still 3 wide here. There's the 18 of Gray on the bottom trying to make it work here. Oh, contact there in the wall. There goes the 34 of Lucas. Wow, it is sketchy racing up in front here. They are still hitting the wall. The car on the outside here, trying to make that work.
Watching the 94 and just underneath the 34 of Aiden Lucas, he is super loose. Not sure if that's just indicative of him or just the track itself, but definitely a little slick out there.
Yeah, keep an eye on that 17 of Jared Wisham as well. Jared Wisham, he was really able to make that outside line work here in 1 and 2. Let's see if he can do it again. Let's stick to the bottom here. He just gained so much ground off the corner. He's doing a really good job right now.
Yeah, right now that's a good place to be able to leverage that up by the. But Jared Wisham's got a bit of a connection issue. He just. We'll see where he pops back up, but he just disappeared.
Looks like he'll find his place back. Good right there.
Yep, he's back, but
could have been worse.
Yeah, it's scary for the guys around him when that car in front of you or outside you just disappears, then pops back in. You've got to be a little cognizant of where he's at and make sure you steer away from that. It's unfortunately just part of the nature of the beast here with iRacing.
All right. Smalley, Anthony Palesci, top 3. And look at on the outside there. Look at Caldwell way up the racetrack.
About 4/10 ahead, Kyle Smalley is over Michael Anthony. But that's 2 balls out racing teammates currently out there in front.
They've just been the team to beat.
They haven't. Not too far behind. You've got 10, 11, and 12. The rest of their team sitting back there, just a few seconds or away from getting back up there. But once you get past those, once you get past those 2, caution flies again.
There you go. Might be 11 this time.
Jordan Weaver involved. And the 21, unfortunately, that's Matthew Wood.
Third place points.
Yeah, he's toast. I'm not sure.
That car's done.
Yeah.
I think the 45 is done as well. He's crab walking.
Yeah, he's got some major damage on that car. He's going to have
really unfortunate third place car. I mean, the third place in points. He is going to lose a lot of ground for that.
Going to watch the 21 here. See Justin Lewis behind him. He moves to the inside. Oh, wait a minute. Just what happened? Let's go back. Let's take a different look here.
Possibly a wheel disconnect? Let's see. Is there any?
64 is involved. The 42 is involved. Unfortunately, those are all GOAT racing drivers. He pinballed across the track and took out teammates. Yeah,
I'm just kind of confused at what happened there. I mean, it could have been a disconnect. Maybe.
Yeah. I guess that's all we could assume at this point. I'm sure we'll find out at some point. We'll see just what happened to, unfortunately, the 21. But whatever happened caused that wreck here and brought out our second caution here at lap 14.
Yeah, and unfortunately there for the 21 of Wood, looks like there's the 08 getting the free pass. He is 4 laps down, so he's got, I think he's the only car lap down now, actually, so he'll have a little bit to get there. And you can see, look how many drivers in the pit right now. You have a lot of people on pit road here, whether it's repairs or taking tires.
I get a shot of drivers that are in there, a number of drivers all involved in that last incident. Jackson, Bullard, Berube, Ledger, and Christoph Hall, Alex Linney, all in the pits. All right, we were talking earlier about the current team standing. Let's go ahead and bring that up while we have a moment here. Right there, Balls Out Racing.
329. It's close. I mean, it may not show it in the driver standings, but it really is close for these teams here.
Well, 1320. So that's Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Palesci, Justin Lewis. Those guys are all in the top 10, and Todd Merkel's in the 18th. So really, you've got a bunch of drivers that are right there in the top 10. Same thing with Balls Out, Smalley, Anthony, and then you've got Thomas and where's the Balls Out driver? Not exactly sure. Smalley, Anthony, Walker, Thomas. I know I'm missing one.
So I am hearing
from...
Oh,
it's Jordan Weaver.
Yeah, I'm hearing from a couple different people that it was the wheel that broke for the 21 of Woods. So it looks like he did have a wheel disconnect.
That's terrible. Sorry for Matthew. He's had a great season so far.
Yeah, and if you thought 39 points was a big amount to make up, he's going to have a lot on his plate now.
All right, pace car drops off as we enter the restart zone here. Kyle Smalley in charge.
And let's go again.
Green flag flies here at Vegas. Kyle Smalley leads the field and moves up to the high line with his teammate behind him, Michael Anthony.
Smalley already getting the good jump here that he needs, riding right on that paint there off turn 2, and these guys haven't gotten a chance at a long run yet. We haven't even seen what a long run yet is going to look like. So it's going to be really good to see down the road here how these guys are going to manage these tires and everything. And keep an eye on that 18 of Gray. He's done such a good job today so far, staying out of trouble. He definitely is a car that can win this. I wouldn't call him a dark horse, but he's definitely somebody who can go up and win this race right now.
Absolutely, he's right there at the bumper of Kyle Smalley, but behind him is anybody's game right now. We're too wide through the rest of the field as this field begins to make its way around lap 17. Of course, our stage break is at lap 44. We do have a number of retirees. Unfortunately, they're packing up their haulers and headed back for Darlington. That's Jordan Weaver, who was just in that wreck with Matthew Wood. Cody Sturgill was also involved in that. Again, Matthew Wood and Aiden Kirker in that first incident. So 4 drivers are packing up and headed home.
Yeah, really unfortunate there for those guys who are having a great race so far. Take a look at Gray in the 15, going back to that number 18 machine. He is currently outside of the top 10 in points and even outside of the top 15. So a run like this could be really good for his playoff hopes here. He's just barely a tenth behind the 51 of Smalley. Looking back further, it's Anthony and Lucas. Michael Anthony and Aiden Lucas, I should say. They're sitting 3rd and 4th. Maxwell Caldwell rounds out the top 5 here. More than likely, after this race, it'll be Jared Wishin. If he can have a good finish here and beat Walker Thomas, it'll be Jared Wishin taking over that 3rd place spot in points.
All right. 20 laps, almost halfway to this first stage break. Kyle Smalley continues to lead here in Vegas.
Little single file here, and a lot of these cars looking really steady so far. Haven't seen well, as I say that, 2 cars hit the wall, of course. But so far, so good. 2 cautions so far. We're hoping that'll die down a little bit as the race goes on. One was a technical incident. The other just a unfortunate case of a driver getting loose off the corner. But single file here, and take a look. There's a 91 of Palesci trying to gain back some spots. There's a 43 of Harold. That was your pole sitter. He's fallen back 10 spots. 9 spots, I should say, since the start of this race.
Yeah, looking back to the field, going back to the 11 of Austin Call, sitting back in 15th. Back in 20th, Justin Horton. And more door, a lot of 2 and 3 wide here, sitting back here 20th to 24th. To 23rd, 23 of Chuck Van Scoik. They're trying to make his way back up. He started 21st. He slipped back to 26 because of that incident.
A couple of drivers still in this here. Almost 3 wide. They're really close there for Bostic and Merkel. Excuse me, that's a 23 machine there of Van Scoik. They're back in 23rd and 25th respectively. Bostic 26th.
Looking further on back in the field, Aaron Jackson back in 30th. Christoph Hall bringing up the rear with David Watts and Alex Linney back here. Alex Linney is the last car on the lead lap. No danger of going a lap down at this point. That field is tracking. He's a little off the pace, but not terrible. Let's bring up that information.
Oh. Watts through the grass. He's mowing the lawn there.
So last lap he was a 31.548 with the leader a 30.5. That's a 1 second delta.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's about 30 laps. He may find himself in a bit of trouble. Well, based on his position, probably about 15 or 16 laps.
He's going to have to fight to keep himself there later on in the race for sure. We are on lap 25. So far here, Gray has caught up a little bit there to the 51 of Smalley. The gap a couple laps ago was 0.4 of a second. It's now down to 1.
You can go on board with Wyatt Gray.
Here comes the 18. Wyatt Gray going to maybe look up to the inside here.
You know, if he cut that, he went down on the apron across the front stretch. That certainly helped him.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a lot of guys do that so far. Maybe Smalley will start doing that as the race goes on here. Running that middle and top line seems to be where he gets a lot of the speed off the corner. It's a lot less of an apex coming off of turn 4 there. Yeah, looks like getting the draft here. It's easier to run that high slide off. It's not as drastic as running the bottom here, but looking good is the 18. Loses it a little bit there, but he's always getting it back off the corner. So good off the exits here. Gets it back up into 5th gear.
Yeah, definitely leveraging that downshift a little bit through 4th as he enters turn 3 and back up to 5th on the exit.
I think that downshift is really helping him gain those RPMs back off the corner for sure. I mean, he gains a lot of his time back there. So he'll get in the corner, red lines it there. About a quarter of the way through the corner. Kind of like if you remember Kevin Harvick at Old Atlanta. He let off really early, coast to bottom, and be able to just floor it about a quarter of the way through the corner and just be able to flat out.
Yeah, leverage that that engine braking to grab some more traction and torque. Shot from the roof cam on top of Wyatt Gray.
Really good for Wyatt Gray and a great run for him so far. Definitely one that's needed points-wise. As it looks like Aiden Lucas and Maxwell Caldwell, that kind of battle has really helped them gain their spots back up and gain some more time back up. And you see those cars back there trying to shave any time off they can, dipping down onto that apron.
Yeah, I think they're making up a lot of time, actually, and beginning to separate themselves from the rest of the field.
And no one really outright, I would say, pulling away with it. Everybody's within about a tenth, 2/10 of each other. So still not that separation we're used to seeing here at Vegas.
And no one's dominating at this point. All right, some solid racing here in Vegas. Take a look at the biggest gainers right now. Austin Call, who we were talking about before, that he started. He's currently in 13th. He started way back in 38th position, the second to the last row. Finds himself now just outside the top 10. J.R. Houston plus 24.
We talked about him earlier.
Yeah. Well, I think we were all shocked about his qualifying effort. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we'll see if we can find out.
And it's not usually like him to qualify that low.
Well, he sure made up for it in the past 34 laps. Got his hands full right now as he's working his way up to Andrew Pileshi in front, who's currently right now in 11th. Austin Call is now in 12th. Three drivers on pit road for an extended period of time. The 43 of Sammy Harrell, Bud Scherer in the 93, and David Watts in the 54. All on pit road for over 3.5 minutes. Not sure what's happening with those drivers.
Maybe it's just some taking tire issues. And Harrell, that's your pole winner. Issues for the 43 possibly.
Unfortunately, we know that we're talking about Aiden Kirker in the 85, and something that we saw that was new. Actually, Aiden is subbing for Zach Lindgren in the 85. Unfortunately, an early retirement for that 85 this evening. And as we said earlier, that Christian Elliott is subbing for Nathan Carroll in the 63. Currently, Christian is sitting in the 23rd spot. He is up 5 from where he qualified. Not a whole lot of sponsors sitting on that 63.
No, and I think they're going with that kind of trope of, oh, he's a fill-in car, or it's just a test car paint job there. But so far, good run for the 63. Obviously going to try to grab some points early on, but we have 7 laps to go. In stage 1 of this top 10 is looking good here.
Yeah, pretty solid. A little bit of a battle happening back here with Walker Thomas. Maxwell Caldwell, he's got some competition there. The 14 is right there, Michael Anthony. He's trying to get around the 14 for that position. Of course, 40 laps in here on these tires for most of these top 14 drivers have yet to hit the pits, as well as a few others sprinkled in there. But for the most part, these guys are running on the rubber they started with, so I'm sure they're all feeling the pinch.
Yeah, they definitely are, and it's kind of getting to that crunch time for points here. Take a look at the 9th and 10th place spots. Johnston and Brown, a couple names we have. Oh, big slide there. Whew. Close one there. Speaking of, going back to the 15, the 46ers, Johnson and Brown, 2 names we haven't really seen up front this season. And they're making some good runs here, going to grab some stage points. Hopefully if they can hold off Lewis and Corinne there in a good battle for that 10th place spot.
Hey, Garrett Lewis right there. Jeremy Brown's up 10 spots. He qualified back in 20th. And William Corinne is trying to do something there with just 4 laps to go. Can Wyatt Gregg do anything? Oh, he's a little loose there, wasn't he? Oh, caution's out.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, caution flag's out here.
I don't know why the caution flew.
Maybe a possibly like compensation for the stage break or something, maybe, or for the cautions that we had.
It shouldn't be. We're tracking all laps here. Just message race control to see just what happened. I don't see any incidents on the track. Not sure why, but we should see everybody on pit road.
It's that long train running the cars coming down. There's Wyatt Gray. Kyle Smalley will lead us in. Lucas in the 34 and tail to tail, and Smalley getting a little help there.
All right, yeah, that is the stage. Happened a little bit early, off schedule.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's because of those two cautions, possibly. Got it a little bit off schedule. So third caution of the day. The third will be the stage break. We'll have Call is the only car staying out as of right now. Looks like he may come down pit road here. Let's see. Yep, it looks like he will.
All right. We'll get you those stage point leaders at that point.
So definitely not the stop that Smalley wanted. He'll restart in the third position. Third position it looks like here.
Yeah, he had a time of 15:13, which is a little long when you compare it to Wyatt Gray, who came out in front with a 14:88. Now looking down through the times, the best time I see is actually, I think it's a 14:60 put in by Garrett Johnson. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, really good run for those guys there. So we'll keep an eye out here as we get ready to run back to green. It is on Gray and Lucas, and Lucas has a good head of steam here, but Wyatt Gray, this is kind of a position he's been looking for here. He's got some clear air ahead of him, but he's got a car to his inside. Can he outrun him on this restart here?
All right, Wyatt Gray in the 18 is in charge of this restart. Could get a little help from Michael Anthony behind him. And here we go. Oh, check up big time in the field with the one. That's Walker Thomas there. He may have missed a shift, and that just stacked up the entire outside line.
Well, I'll tell you somebody who that was good for.
Yeah.
18 of Wyatt Gray.
Absolutely. That gave the 18 and caution comes out again.
Possibly for that restart?
I don't know. I don't see any incidents on the track. Looking around real quick. It's the 43 of Alex Linney, a little slow on the track, but I don't think it's Alex Linney. I don't see anything. I'm amazed. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I'm thinking it may be for that restart, so we'll see.
Asking the gods above in race control just what happened on that restart. We'll see how it all plays out.
Find out.
All right, we're about to find out. 49 self-spin coming out of 2.
I think I caught that.
That's Casey Herschel. Let's see right here, see if this can... We're watching the fourth for the 49 here. That's that black car on the center of your screen. I think he was, he may have had a little help there.
Maybe. Look here. See if he gets any contact. It's going to be close.
See if we have a better shot, different angle.
Maybe one above you or something like that. Yeah, there you go.
I think he just took the air off of him.
Really close. Yeah, I think that's what happened as well.
And a
I think that's
little
where he has some
contact right there.
I think that's where the help came from. Close one there for the 19 in Ledger. So hard to predict where these wrecks are going to unfold.
Yeah, no idea. Well, looks like the track is probably a little bit slicker as we hear. We're currently our fourth caution, lap 47 of 134.
Officially less than 100 to go.
That is correct.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
It's been great racing so far. We'll say that. These guys have really put on a good show here, running these different lines here. And I think tonight you could see another winner. We haven't had any repeat winners so far.
No, we absolutely haven't. All right, solid racing so far. Wyatt Gray will be in charge of this restart one more time.
Get ready to roll.
He'll have Aiden Lucas right there to his outside or inside on this restart. A little bit different guy behind. Last time he had, was it Michael Anthony behind him? Right now you've got Andrew Palesci behind him this time.
Yeah, and you can see how this sun is just beaming down on this racetrack. It is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter as these cars go across it. So I'd expect we've seen a lot of conflict in 1 and 2. I'd expect to start seeing it in 3 and 4 here, as that's going to start heating up a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Michael Anthony. He is back on pit road in the 14. Something's going on with that car.
Back to green through the Echo Park Automotive restart zone.
Good jump by the 18.
Yeah, everybody on that outside has had a good jump today. Gray coming off pit road. Hopping off fuel, maybe? Something like that?
I don't know.
You got 86 to go.
Just about 50 laps complete. Oh! Caution's out.
Oh, big hit there for the 1. He's into the wall. It's Thomas.
One has had a hard day.
Yeah, he's been in almost every one here.
Looks like he got loose first and then So right behind him, the 81 is in the
Oh.
bump in the rear end of the 7. So the 7 goes around. That's Justin Lewis. That's in the rear view mirror of the 1. He gets another tap here as the 7 gets a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, had that 4 not had been there, I think that 7 just about had it saved. I think he just got loose. I didn't see any contact.
88 hard in the wall. Then unfortunately the 7 gets a little coup de grace right there with the 99.
Yeah, dang.
Is right into that left front. That is typically sure to break a bit of suspension there for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately for Allison as well, was on his way up to the front making a good charge here. There's
Yep, lots of damaged race cars right now. All right, well, those drivers will be on pit road, which they are. 7 is trying to get some repairs made. He could be there a while. All right, our 5th caution of the night here, lap 51 of 134. So just when we think we can get it going, a little bit of it seems like it's just they're a little loose on this track.
Yeah, it's just getting slicker and slicker, like we said, and pretty much every lap, this track is starting to heat up more and more. But I'll tell you, somebody who this has been kind of an easy path to get up for. Ryan Pittman started this race from pit road 4 laps down. He's now found himself back on the lead lap.
Oh, good. There you go. And currently showing in 28th, yeah.
And he's on pit road, as are a couple. And I'm seeing some really interesting strategies here. Not a lot of these guys who are on pit road now, most of them, but not all of them, had damage, which is really an interesting strategy here.
Come in, get fresh fuel or tires, and then get back out. This is a league with a number of great drivers. You just never know when you're going to have this long green flag run, and you're going to wind up with green flag pit stops. So taking an opportunity to top off the car is probably not a bad strategy.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, you'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yep, makes sense. All right, lights are off on the pace car. See the 99 of Berube and the 7, Justin Lewis, is back on the track. I think Justin Lewis is actually going to be 1 lap down. He'll be the lucky dog if that plays out. Not trying to look forward to another yellow.
Here we go, back to green here, a little shuffle on the restart there. And this is, I think, the calmest one we've seen in a little bit.
Yep, see the 18 move all the way down in front of Aiden Lucas. Aiden Lucas got a good start this time with Andrew Pileshi behind. That's what has helped him on this restart.
Running on the outside line there. Let's see if the 18 will stick to it. So it's Lucas, Pileshi, great Lucas, Pileshi, Caldwell, Houston. Smalley has dropped back to 6. He has a long way to go here. He hasn't been able to grab as many spots because of either pit road or just because of the traffic that's in front of him. But we'll see how he's going to perform in traffic here. It's really easy to run up front. I will say that. It's easy to run up front, but getting through traffic's the hard part, and he's got to go through about 6 cars here to get up there.
See the 20 up high. That's J.R. Houston. Taking a different line for sure. Kind of diamonding that corner.
Definitely a good run for JR tonight.
He's definitely using a different run, a different line on the track for sure tonight. And there's Kyle Smalley. Where's he last? We're just talking 7th. He's now in the 3rd.
He's a fast mover, I'll tell you that much, and he's really taking care of those tires.
51's got his eyes on the 34 of Aiden Lucas next, and the 18 of Wyatt Gray trying to regain that top spot. Looking at our lap leaders right now, Smalley, Gray, and Harrell. Those are the only guys who have been out front today. Good showing for J.R. Houston and the Misfit Mafia racing teams. He's currently showing in 4th. You got Roberto Ramirez back there in 14th. Casey Herschel, who we saw involved in that incident, is 21st, with Calvin Allison unfortunately retiring.
Yeah, Allison was 15th in points before that as well. Houston looking for a good run here. He's outside of the playoff picture as well. If these guys can keep it clean here for pretty much most of these guys in the top 10 here, it'll be a good run. Speaking of top 10, look who's found his way back up to 10th. It's Chuck Van Scoyk in the 23 machine.
Yep, he's up there with in 10th. He's got his teammate Aaron Jackson in tonight, back in 15th. So tight racing back in the field, though. Caution flies again here.
Wow.
Bud Shahir.
Straight away. See what happened there. I saw a couple cars start to go around.
Yeah, I see.
That was the source of it.
Let's see just what happened here. Watching the 93 of Bud Shahir, that was the first name and number that popped up on my leaderboard here in the telemetry. We'll see what happened. Nope, that actually happened before him.
Oh. Pittman in the 08. There's a 42, the 10. See how that happened. They were all really close together.
Yep, trying to locate Pittman here. There he is. Let's back this up a bit.
Oh, that's just a hornet's nest. That's what that is. What a mercy.
So
everybody kind of going everywhere there. Looks like it happened with the 3 of. Yeah, it looks like it starts with the 3 of Bullard. No, did he just go around?
It's the car in front of him.
I was gonna say I didn't know if the 3 of Bullard either made contact or he just went around it looks like he went around on his own.
I think it's Matthew Greitchen in the 10.
Let's see here.
I think he just gets he's door to door here.
Oh yeah. Maybe contact there. It's like he got to the 55 too quick. Slows up.
In the door of the 8?
Yeah, you see, he makes contact with the 8 there.
3's out of the gas.
Yeah, really like contact to get loose from. And everybody...
Nowhere to go.
Unfortunately there, picked the wrong way to go. How the 08... obviously he hit the wall there, but how he didn't hit that car... And how the 42 didn't hit him, didn't hit Greitchen either is beyond me. That could have ended a lot worse for Greitchen.
Yep.
Oh, there's a 43 of Harrell. Look at the contact he gets here. Boom, there's a wall there, and looks like someone with David Watts, maybe?
Does he a little bit. He does. Watts gets in the tail end of
really,
Greitchen.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, lots of guys involved here at lap 60.
Funny seeing 21st down on pit road there. And pretty much everybody's either out of this race so far or on pit road. So really only 20 cars on the lead lap right now, I think.
We'll see how. Lights are off on the pace cars. These about to get back underway here. 27, 28 cars on pit road. I don't think Luke Bullard's going to make it out in time. He's going to try and get his lap back. He might, but he's still on pit road. He is not. He's going to end up going a lap down. So 28 cars on the lead lap here in Vegas, coming up to just a little bit shy of the halfway point here. But guess who's out in front?
Yep. Seen it many a times. It's a tale as old as time, I think, at this point. And Smalley's found his way back up to the front. A good run for, check out the 25. This Roberto Ramirez, really rough race at Phoenix last week. Looks like he kind of bottled it last week. But good run for him. Currently sitting in fifth spot here. So we're getting ready to be halfway through this race.
Yeah, other names in the top 10 that are notable. Chuck Van Scoik up to 4th. Todd Merkel up to 6th. A number of drivers chose to come in, and that allowed these drivers to take over that spot. Wyatt Gray, he came in there at lap 59. So again, we're back underway here. Green flag flies. Kyle Smalley out in front. Again,
green flag here.
New names out in the top 10. You got Todd Merkel up there. Jared Wishing is there. Again, Roberto Ramirez and others out there trying to do something with the an Austin Call as well. Again, we were talking about him earlier. He is up 36 positions now in second. So really, Noah, you got a real crazy mix right now. You got about 10 or 12 guys who did not come in that time, and the rest got fresh tires and fuel.
Yeah, they're working really hard here to get back up to the front, and definitely, like you said, an interesting top 10 here. It really has kind of changed the picture. And Van Scoik, you see there, he's back up to 10th. This puts Todd Merkel into the picture. It puts Brown into the picture. Caldwell and Paleshi puts them right back into it here. But Smalley, he's been in the picture all day long. He finds himself in first. And Gray's got to fight through some traffic here if he wants this win.
Well, and Kyle Smalley last came in the pits at lap 42. So the guys who just came in, Wyatt Gray, they just pitted on lap 59. So they've got 17 fresher lap tires on those cars. Try and keep an eye. Let's go down to Wyatt Gray, watch him, but also let's get the information about his last lap and the leader's last lap.
Wow. About a 10th.
Yep. And we'll see what the next timing cycle looks like. Yep, just a little closer there, a little shy, but then again, as you're working through traffic, you're not always going to have your best lap.
Yeah, they're pretty much equal right now. They're really, really starting to try to get closer there. As he gets by Ramirez, he's got, look how much faster he is than Wishing there off the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he caught up to him like it was nothing.
Jared Wishing last pitted at lap 42, the same as Smalley. Yeah, it's just under a full second that time by.
You can see how fast that lap time degrades there as the run goes on. I expect to start seeing him in the 31s before it's over. He's trying for sure, and I think he's waiting on the 17 to catch Wishing there.
Yep, 17's in front of him, and they got Austin Call. 17 goes around the 11 of Austin Call. And
yeah, he
gets it back, yeah.
And as a driver, that's exactly what you want to see if you're in that position there. You want to see these guys kind of fighting it out here. The harder part is picking who you know is the faster guy. It looks like he picked it right there.
Wyatt Gray moves up to third. Gets around the 11th. So about 8/10 behind the leader. But at some point, these tires are going to equalize. You know, he's going to get a few laps in, and their value is going to drop off a little bit. But we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
But at some point, Kyle Smalley is going to need to find himself on pit road. I'm guessing that's somewhere around lap 92 to 94.
Don't quite know yet. I don't even think we talked about it all race because of the cautions we have. But what's our fuel window starting to look like here as we get down about 63 to go here, soon to be 60?
I think we were looking at somewhere between 45 and 50 laps. That was our initial calculation. I don't know if that's still the case, but if we say that, you know, Smalley came in at lap 42. That is 87. So that is just around 10 laps to go, or 15 laps to go. But I think Wyatt Gray is kind of in the catbird seat. He just needs to let the race come to him. Of course, you just never know if cautions come out, and they tend to do that. That will change up his calculation for sure.
Well, now that they've gotten Call out of the way, you can see these guys really starting to track down Smalley here. And Smalley, I'll give him credit. He's been able to kind of slow roll it here and go easy on those tires. I'm sure he has tires if he wants them here, but he was really banking on Austin Call there to kind of hold those two guys up, and Wishing and Gray, and they are catching him at a really fast rate here.
And Gray's trying to find a way around the, and there he is. He's under right now, the 17 of Jared Wishing, door to door. Oh, lets it have it back, but he's trying to find a place for a pass. It's a delicate dance here because you've got to be careful not to be too aggressive and build too much heat up in these tires.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about that a little bit as well, and you can't overdrive it here, but this is Vegas. Track position means everything here, and you really want to try to, we talked about it pre-race even, about how important it's going to be. If you can hold on to it, more likely you'll be able to hold on to it for the rest of the race, and Smalley's done exactly that. He hasn't had to fight a lot. He's really been doing good on those restarts. That's kind of where he's gotten a lot of his positions back. But so far for Wishing and Gray, they've been trying to track him down here, just haven't been able to get close enough to make a move.
You saw the 7 of Justin Lewis. He just went a lap down. Currently right now, the last car on the lead lap is the 8 of Maurice Burnett, and he is, well, he's about a half a straightaway from his attempt to wind up going a lap down. So leaders are coming up on these lap cars. So caution has not come out. I did see that there was a car that did go off the track, but they ducked back in the pits, and green stays out. All right, Kyle Smalley continues to lead here in Las Vegas in the IWM Cup Series. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate you staying with us on our 300th event. Appreciate those of you who have subscribed to the IWM broadcast channel. If you get an opportunity, click that subscribe button and stay up to date so we can continue to bring you races like this. We do it every week. We mimic the NASCAR Cup Series on Sunday, so you'll see it. They were in Vegas this past week. We're here this week on Wednesday. tomorrow night, the INRS Series is the preview of the Sunday event. So tomorrow night we will be in Darlington for a throwback race weekend with the INRS Racing Series. And next Wednesday, guess what? We'll be back in Darlington.
Heck yeah. Great racetrack. Tune in for that one for sure. It won't be one you want to miss.
That's such a challenging track. You know, it really is a great opportunity for those drivers to really show off.
Yeah, really tough, and it's like he says, too tough to tame. And you really gotta be perfect for about 200 laps there in the Cup Series if you want to be per car to the wall there. Look, that is the 40. Who is that there? Quite see who that was. The 8 machine. Maurice Burnett. He'll go a lap down.
Yep.
That may help Wishing a little bit.
Can't hurt.
Right on board with Kyle Smalley.
Drivers, the top three, make their way around the lap down car of Maurice Burnett. That gap has gotten a little bit larger. So as we were talking about earlier, at some point, the value of your fresh tires kind of goes away. Oh, and unfortunately, that's Wyatt Gray tapping the wall there.
Definitely not what he needs. He's starting to fall off a lot here. You can tell he's been really fighting that car.
3/4 of a second back behind Smalley, your leader.
If I recall earlier on, it didn't seem like he was going to be into the picture, but after those pit stops, a good strategy for him. Finds himself in 4th, as well as Maxwell Caldwell in the 94. Good run for those guys.
All right, 84 laps complete. Again, we're looking for those drivers that came in on lap 42, somewhere about lap 92 max, I think. So we'll start seeing some pit stops expected within the next 8 to 10 laps. And of course, that's going to benefit those guys who chose to pit on lap 59. That's going to be Wyatt Gray, along with Maxwell Caldwell, Aiden Lucas, Andrew Pileshi. Those guys all came in. Then also expect to see this time by Chuck Van Scoik. He's also going to be a lap 42 guy. Roberto Ramirez, he's due in. Jeremy Brown also, as well as J.R. Houston and Todd Merkel. I think those guys are the last ones that need to pit. Came in lap 42. Aiden Lucas, solid showing. He's at the same spot he qualified in. Aiden Lucas is currently showing in sixth spot.
A really good run for Aiden Lucas so far today. He's been just really consistent, and especially in a series like this, any top 10, top 5, whatever it is, that's a points-paying position, runs a good day.
Absolutely. Aiden Lucas, one of those drivers who pitted in lap 59, so he's not looking to come in anytime soon. He's probably good till somewhere about lap 109, and that will be his last stop of the night. Yeah, real question. I guess if you're coming in at lap 90, that leaves you about 44 laps to go. So it will be the last stop for all of these drivers next time in. Just the question is, do you have to come in at lap 42 or?
We'll find out here. I think before we see lap 40, I think people will come in.
Yep, number of drivers expected to come in pretty soon. All right, Kyle Smalley out in front.
I mean, it's a great effort all day. He's just been perfect, and obviously it's 44 laps to go. It's still too early, obviously, to tell, but been going good so far.
It's definitely solid. Looking at the Delta, looks to me it's actually just getting a little bit better. He's pulling slightly farther away from Gray. Really not Gray can't improve his position here at lap 93. So really, at any point, we expect to see the leader on pit road.
Yeah, I think it's coming down to that. Let's see, maybe coming down here.
Not this time.
One more.
We're watching. We're looking forward to these guys coming down the pit road. What that's going to do to shake up the field.
Yeah, I think it's starting to come down to that, and Smalley really starting to stretch.
Caution's out.
Oh my. Well, this will bring everybody on the pit road. How convenient.
Yeah. That will put everybody on pit road and pretty much eliminate the need for. Well, this will be really a 40-lap shootout.
Hey, one thing, these crew chiefs definitely ain't having to do a whole lot with strategy, I'll tell you that much.
Not this time.
Wait till the next caution. Come on down, we'll fill you up.
Perfect timing. Washington, what happened with the 43 here. We've seen pretty much like a self-spit every time about, well, I say that's not what,
oh.
Yeah.
What in the world happened there? Okay, looks like it looks like they just both came right into each other.
Yep, two GOAT Racing drivers getting collected there.
It's not been the night for them.
And that's not going to make for a happy Monday morning crew event.
And then unfortunately, that's been the trend for Harold today. Was on the pole position, lost some spots, and unfortunately just couldn't gain them back. And been in a couple accidents since then. Found himself crossing the start line backwards.
Yep, absolutely. All right, everybody is on pit road.
And yeah, when you mean everybody, it's everybody. 7 coming on down. There's Harold, Molly, Gray out first.
Wow. I think that was a 2-tire stop for the 18.
That is some confidence right there.
Yeah, he came out in a 12.28. I'm guessing that's got to be a 2-tire stop.
Yeah, he must have really taken care of those left side tires. Yeah, for him to come out that far ahead, he probably only took 2 tires.
Yep.
No way he took 4. If he did 4, he better give this pit crew a raise.
Well, it says 4, but I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He may have just taken no fuel.
Oh, I think he needed fuel. Well, there's a good chance he may be on the podium. We'll have to ask him on this this event here. So,
He's not. He's too far off from that.
Nope, just around 38 laps to go before we call this race over. Crown a champion here in Vegas. Right now, Gray, Smalley, and Wishin, that is your top three. We'll see who winds up on the podium.
We're going to find out here. About a 40-lap shootout here. Well, I say that now. We go to lap 97. So just close to a 40-lap shootout.
All right, solid race here so far tonight. Wyatt Gray out in front. We haven't had a whole lot of leaders here. We can bring up that stat here. Just a total of 4. Smalley, Gray,
Wow.
Bullard, and Harrell. When did Bullard lead a lap? It must have been during a caution.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. 40 laps. Just about all we got left in the tank here. Through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Steve Gray stacked up there on the inside line. Both of those drivers didn't get the start they wanted side by side into turn 1.
Solid door-to-door here. No advantage much at all. AT moves up to the high side in front of Kyle Smalley. That's a good block. Oh, wrecking behind Chuck Van Scoik.
Big contact there. There's the big one. See what happened in that field there. I'm sure a lot more drivers got taken out in that.
I don't know. I think a lot of them were missed.
Big hit for Van Scoik. Was having such a good day. Recovered well.
I think he was. I could be wrong. We're not seeing any other telemetry from other drivers.
So there's a 49 there. Let's take a look down here. So it happened on the bottom. There's Van Scoik up high.
There's a 40. The 46 is behind him.
46. So off 4. Did Van Scoik just get loose? It looks like he may have.
Well, no, he is in a.
Yeah, there's help there. See if you got any more. Above you or something of that. Because it's right. We've been saying that all day. It's been like right there. Let's look here.
Right there. Contact.
Yeah. Contact. He gets into the 49. He'll go down. There's the 37. Scoik around and see back up through the field. I want to see who else got through that because I would be amazed if at least like 2 cars came out of that, or if at least 2 other cars didn't make contact in that field there. Has not been the night for one team in particular, and it's Goat Racing, and they have fortunately been bitten by the bad luck bug tonight.
Yeah, Vegas has not been cool. So here's that. So you see the 49 there, up into the wall.
I am amazed.
Right?
At the wreck avoidance there of some of those guys. I don't know how they didn't hit harder than they did. Let's see if we can keep it going here. There's Van Scoik. Yeah, it just looks like it's going to be just utter disaster. And somehow, some way.
Yeah, they all got through.
Wow. Unbelievable. Wreck avoidance by these guys here. Grade A. Unfortunately for Van Scoik, I mean, he fought so hard to get back up to the front. Couldn't get it done.
Number of drivers on pit road: Horton, Thomas, Van Scoik. It has not been the night for Walker Thomas. Nathan Yarnell, Marco Berube, Jeremy Brown, Maurice Burnett, Justin Lewis also on pit road. You see them all rolling off now. They're all back to fight another day, except for Jeremy Brown in the 46. You saw him in that. I was calling out the 49. That actually was the 46 who was also involved. So now we're back in with the, let's go on board with the restart with the 18. Let's take a look and see what we do restart, what that's going to look like from inside the 18 of Wyatt Gray.
It'll be one heck of a restart right here. You can hold on to that track position, hold on to it for dear life. Those of you March Madness watchers out there, Prairie View beat Lehigh a couple minutes ago. Miami of Ohio is up about 7 points, or about 9 points now on SMU.
That's interesting. Downshifting to 1. That's
and
a much
just
better.
Took off.
Yeah,
yeah. That is how you start a race right there. I mean, you couldn't have done that any more perfectly. Just got right inside that box. Perfection.
Hit the restart zone.
For these next 33 laps.
Yeah, he didn't wait. He just pretty much, once he was in it, he just took off.
Seems to have been the strategy tonight for the 18.
All right, 32 laps to go here.
This is going to be a good race to the finish right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle Smalley versus Wyatt Gray. And you know, you're Jared Wishin sitting there in third, and also Maxwell Caldwell there in fourth. It's just a good time to let those guys battle. Who knows what could happen in front of them. Kyle Smalley just turned the fastest lap of the race, a 29.31. Remember, we're talking about qualifying times. They're all 29 6s and 7s for the best laps. Solid battle between these two drivers. Looking back through the field, see the battle there for currently in fourth is Aiden Lucas. Andrew Paleshi's there as well in sixth. Todd Merkel. Then everything behind them is a gamble. There's the substitute driver, Christian Elliott, there in the 63. Now finds himself up 18 spots, sitting in 10th.
Wow. That was close.
Yeah, a lot of battles there back for 10. See the 49 of Casey Herschel up high.
Yeah, good run for Elliott tonight as a fill-in driver. He's just done a grade A job. It was in a wreck earlier on. Found himself in 10th, and he's got a good head of steam here. Only 24 cars in the lead lap. We started with 40.
A lot of battles here. This is really between positions 9 through 15 here as these drivers looking to break in that top 10.
Yeah, points are points, and you got to take them. Oh, trouble for Pittman there. Way loose there. Good save by the 08, and that was definitely a scary moment for a couple of those guys right behind him, but he saved it.
A lot of contact with the wall for a number of these drivers. And they're just battling side by side here.
15-4. Almost stuck his nose where it didn't belong there. Really close. Looks like Matthew Greichen. DQ for the 10 machine.
Yeah, I think that's an old, I think it's just kind of catching up with the field.
I don't even know where the 10's at anymore. I think he's
Yeah, he went.
DQ or DNF'd earlier on.
Yeah, he packed up and went home. All right, 25 laps to go here. Kyle Smalley out in front, looking to be a repeat winner here.
Trying to get it done. He'd be our first of the year. Made that pass for the lead. Can he hold on to it, though, is the question. Gray's been really good at catching back up.
Winners here so far this year have been Marcus Adams, Kyle Smalley, Andrew Pileshi, and Matthew Wood. Unfortunately, Matthew Wood is retired tonight, but certainly Andrew Pileshi is currently sitting in 6th. He's looking for an opportunity. Haven't seen Marcus Adams is not in the field tonight. Just a couple tenths separate first and second here with just a handful of laps left. .49 of Casey Herschel gets up under the 2 of Todd Merkel for 8th. Good showing by Casey Herschel in the Misfit Mafia Racing. Got J.R. Houston up there in 6th, though. These guys are making something happen here.
Yeah, they've had a really good run here. And
yeah.
I guess because of that GOAT Racing misfortune that they've had, they've put themselves in a really good spot here. And we saw Herschel get involved. Earlier on, he's in 8th. Roberto Ramirez, 10th. Houston, 6th. Really good run for those Misfit Mafia guys. Unfortunately for Gray, he's doing the best he can. Losing him in the turns. He's losing about a 10th now. Was at .39. .51 is the gap. It goes down on the straightaways here, but he is losing a lot in the turns. I think Factory HJ here would be happy if they can just kind of keep their guys all close together. And I think that would be the main thing they're looking for.
Fortunately, balls out racing. Kyle Smalley is the best of the group. Walker Thomas back in 21st. Michael Anthony and Jordan Weaver have gone home and packed up their haulers. They're gone.
It has not been a good night for the big boys here tonight. It's been a really good night for the underdogs, though, and the smaller teams here in the IWM Cup Series. They put on some great showings here tonight, and they're putting themselves in good position for stage points.
1320 has 3 drivers in the top 10.
Give a shout out to Todd Merkel in the 2 machine. He's been in just about every big incident we've had tonight. Finds himself in the 9th place spot, looking to hold on to it, but he's got Austin Call right behind him.
Okay, under 19 laps to go. Smalley continues to lead over Wyatt Gray, just about half a second behind in that 18. Falling back a little bit more now. These guys pitted on lap 95. So kind of that, they're hitting that spot where the tire begins to go away a little bit, and they have to drive a little bit more conservatively, unfortunately, in the run. Not the best time for Wyatt Gray.
Not looking good. He's got to find a little bit.
All right, out in front, Smalley out in lead by just about half a second. Taking a peek back, the 24 cars on the lead lap. Marco Berube, Chuck Van Scoik at the tail end of this field. Nathan Yarnell is the last car on the lead lap. But he's got about a half a lap between himself and the opportunity to get lapped by the leader, so he's in good shape.
Yep.
With just 15 laps to go.
Take a look at Gray here.
Oh,
caution flag is out. Oh, my.
4 is involved. Alex Linney involved in the 42. I think Ty Bostic also was involved. There's some damage on the 22. Brian Jones as well. His night may be over in the 4. He's got some major right front damage. So I'm thinking really this is not what Kyle Smalley wanted to see here.
Not at all, and he was running away with it for sure. Had gained about 0.2 of a second there, but he now finds himself in the jaws of Gray and Wishin. If those two can get a good start, they can make a run with this thing.
Yeah, you see the damage here on Aaron Jackson's number 12. That right front was pretty much turned out there. He's got some damage to that car. That may be it for the 12.
Missed a stall a little bit there. Missed it again. He'll get it.
Plenty of time. He's not going to be moving much out of that stall, I don't think.
Not with those front wheels dangling, he's not.
Well, we'll see who decides to come in here with just a handful of laps to go. And your leaders come in.
Oh, Wishin did not pit. He may have already hit the commitment cone, though.
He stayed out.
So see if we can go back and get a look at that. I don't know if he hit the commitment cone or not, but what in the world? Let's see here. Let's find the 17 wherever he went. I mean, he darted off really quick. Let's see. So here's Wishin.
He had every opportunity to come in. He saw the two guys in front ducking
Still in.
18 stayed out, he thought.
Still in. So commitment cones.
There's that line right there.
It may be the cone.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe. I think it's the cone. So he did not commit. Wow. He had barely any time to react right there.
Well, he and Austin Call both stayed out.
There's Smalley in the 51 back out. There's Gray. Oh boy. This will be fun.
Yeah, you're gonna have two guys on the front row. Both of them pitted on lap 95. Everybody else pitted on lap 121. With just 12 laps to go. Probably you're close to 10 by the time we go back to green flag racing. Man, that's a gamble. I mean, if you're back there and you can't get around, this is what you got to do. Got to take a chance.
Yeah, and pace car lights are off here, so we will restart with 10 to go.
All right, if you're still with us, thanks for hanging on. We've got just about 11 laps, 10 laps to go, probably at the line. We were just getting out of a caution here. Two drivers who were sitting back in third and fourth decided to stay out, and they've got the whole field on fresh. Well, I say that, but I'm thinking Kyle Smalley maybe only took right side tires. The same with Wyatt Gray. He may have alternated. The same with Aiden Lucas. Most drivers only took in the top 10 either left or right side tires.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun restart to watch right here. I want to see if Wishin can hold these guys off, and if he can't, he's banking on Austin Call to hold him up here. We'll see if he can do it, but for Wishon, this is a really risky move here. But points are points, and start has been called off. Interestingly enough.
Looking at the track map, everybody is nope. Okay, it's going to go. We'll go green next time by.
This time by. Interesting there. Probably waiting for somebody to catch up there.
Number of drivers still in the pits: Brian Jones, Nathan Yarnell, Marco Berube, Aaron Jackson, Justin Lewis, all on pit road. Field was not set at the time of that lap, so do it one more time, which they're doing right now.
Well, here we go. We'll restart with 9 laps remaining, officially into the single digits. As we get ready to go here, it's Jared Wishon, Austin Call, Kyle Smalley, Wyatt Gray, Aiden Lucas. That's your top 5 through the Echo Park Automotive restart. Zone green flag is in the air.
Oh, there was some contact.
Trouble for Gray. They make side-by-side contact. We are 3 wide going into 1.
Unfortunate for Gray. He certainly got caught in that little bit of that restart. Didn't help him. That really jumbled up the field. That's putting Wyatt Gray sitting back in 6th. Maxwell Caldwell under him. 3 wide.
Wow, that's close.
Oh, they're still
looking great there. He is going anywhere to find time. Weaving and bobbing his way through traffic. Trouble for Call. He gets stuck on the high side there. Keeps it out of the wall just barely. Will stay green. And look at how aggressive Gray is getting here. Going anywhere. Weaving, bobbing out of traffic. Trying to find it. He just cannot get back up to the front.
Saw Andrew Palesci also doing the same thing, trying to get around. Now they're 3 wide, trying to make it down to drag race. 4 wide into the corner.
Wow. Will we hold it?
We did. The 494 of Maxwell Caldwell finds himself currently in 3rd, being hunted down by the 20 of Houston and the 18 of Gray.
What a move by Wyatt Gray to send it 4 wide here, possibly saving his hopes at a top 5. He's going to hold on to it. We hold it 4 wide here. Can we hold on to it for 7 more laps here at Las Vegas? It is Smalley up in front. Johnston, Caldwell, Houston, Gray. That's your top 5.
Looking back, those drivers who decided that they were going to try and pull it off by hanging out didn't pay off. The 17 and the 11 now back in 13th and 15th respectively. Smalley out in front as the battle happens behind between Garrett Johnson and Maxwell Caldwell. Gray cannot get around the 20 of J.R. Houston.
Really trying hard here. Looks like he just can't get around him. That air's blocking him. What a run for Johnson in the 15. Did not think we'd see him up front.
Contact with Aiden Lucas and Andrew Palesci, yeah.
And Johnson, if he can find some more time here, he's possibly got a chance to win this thing. If Smalley messes up.
Yeah, it's going to take some kind of error. 51 of Kyle Smalley's got clean air and nobody in front of him just to try and pedal around this track. He's hoping for this to stay green all the way, but there's a lot of beating and banging going on this field.
Yeah, and the DNF list should show for itself how hard these guys have been racing all day long. been some of the most aggressive racing we've seen this season. And now here comes Caldwell looking to the inside. And if you're Kyle Smalley, that's exactly what you want to see, is the second and third place cars going at it.
Just 4 laps to go here. And the 20
Caldwell.
of trying to get around him as well.
Yeah, Caldwell really leaving it all on the table there, leaving no room for the 15. Looks like he'll clear him here. It's got to be a miracle for anybody as far back as they are now to catch up to Smalley.
94 is close. He is scored in second, but the 15 of Garrett is not giving up. Laps begin to tick away here, and the 94 is clear. 15 tags the wall.
Not what he needed, but what Caldwell needed. 2 laps to go here, and he's a second behind.
That's what the 20 needed, though. J.R. Houston needed that 15 to make a mistake, and now he is looking to try and get on that podium.
Fight for third continues between Johnston and Houston. Who's going to end up as our podium finisher tonight for the third place spot? White flag this time by. It is Kyle Smalley in the lead, and he's got a pretty safe margin here.
Watching the battle for third between Johnston and Houston. So far, Garrett Johnston's got a great showing for Factory HJ.
Let's see if he's got anything left in the tank, but for Kyle Smalley, a near perfect day, fought through a lot of adversity, a lot of cautions. He will pull off the win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He hits the jackpot tonight. Maxwell Caldwell will finish in the second place spot, and Johnston in the 15 will be our final podium finisher. He barely hangs on against J.R. Houston.
Wow, great finish.
Great race.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have some information. We'll have interviews with each of those 3 podium finishers. Good racing tonight between all the drivers here in the IWM Cup Series.
40 cars started this race. 23 will finish on the lead lap. We'll take you through your lineup once this race is over. We've gotten our interviews out of the way. But for Kyle Smalley, perfection, I think, is the word today. Fought through some adversity, but he pulls off an outstanding win. And all 7s for the 51.
As the 51 makes his way back to the start-finish line to burn up the track. We've got some results. We'll bring those up to you.
All right, let's take you through your top 10 here. Kyle Smalley will be your race winner tonight. Maxwell Caldwell in second. Garrett Johnston in third. J.R. Houston in fourth. Wyatt Gray fifth. Casey Herschel in sixth. Ian Lucas in seventh. Andrew Pileshi in eighth. Roberto Ramirez in ninth. And Christoph Hall in 10th.
Todd Merkel finishes in 11th with Justin Horton, Ryan Pittman, Christian Elliott. Great sub there. Jared Wishin in 15th, Austin Collins 16th, Walker Thomas in 17th, Ty Bostic in 18th, Chuck Van Scoik in 19th, and Nathan Yarnell in 20th.
21st is Jeremy Brown, 22nd is Marco Berube, 23rd is Brian Jones, 24th is Maurice Burnett, 25th Alex Linné, 26th Justin Lewis, 27th is Bud Shearer, 28th is Aaron Jackson. Your pole sitter, Sammy Harrell, a rough finish for him. He'll finish 29th, and 30th is David Watts.
In 31st, Luke Bullard, followed by William Caron, John Ledger, Calvin Allison, Michael Anthony, Matthew Wood, Jordan Weaver, Cody Sturgill, Aiden Kirker, and Matthew Greichen finishing in 40th. Well, some big hard charger, J.R. Houston, plus 36 positions to claim that hard charger award. Kyle Smalley, we've talked about him all night. 102 laps led. Also, he posted the fastest lap, and unfortunately, we've talked about Sammy Harrell and his troubles finishing further on down the field than he wanted to, but he was our pole sitter for tonight. All right, let's see if we can get some interviews going here just a moment here. Give us a second. We're looking for Garrett Johnston. See if we can bring Mr. Johnson into the broadcast booth here. There we go. Garrett, congratulations on your finish and a great race tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Give us a little bit of a feedback on those last few restarts there and that hard charge move you made to get up to where you finished.
Yeah, it was pretty much luck is about all I can say about it. It's just right place at the right time. They got kind of checked up front, and I just took advantage of it. Figured since I was on 2 tires, I had to get up there while I could, and it's a good thing I did. They were already burnt up by the end of that run, so probably another lap or 2, and JR probably would have gotten around me. So good thing it ended when it did. So definitely happy with 3rd.
Yeah, definitely a big battle between you and the 20 with JR. You guys are going at it, but you're right. But it doesn't matter. You finish on the podium, and great finish for Factory HJ.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nice. It's been quite a while since I've had the pleasure to talk to you guys, so it's nice to finally be back up here. And next week going to Darlington, it's one of my favorite tracks, so hopefully we can have a repeat.
Sounds great. Any shout-outs tonight, Garrett?
Yeah, thank you guys as always. Thanks, Elliot, for putting on the broadcast. Shout out to everyone watching at home, Dad, Mom, Grandma, Aunt, and my wife. And like I said, hopefully we'll talk to you guys next week.
You got it. All right, that's Garrett Johnson finishing 3rd here in Las Vegas. Let's see if we can find Mr. Caldwell here. Give us a second to locate him. Max, congratulations on your finish here.
Yeah, thanks.
You and I were just talking last week. Max had the opportunity to jump in the broadcast booth. We covered a race together, and we talked about this opportunity, and here you are, right up front.
Yeah,
race.
No, we needed this tonight, man. See, this is a league of really good drivers, really high I ratings, very skilled people, and luckily, in practice, I didn't feel like I had that good of a car. Maybe an 8th to 12th place car, qualified around there, and then just surprisingly was able to run in the top 10 the majority of the night and actually make passes. And from last week when we were broadcasting, I thought we would not see any passing tonight. It was going to be so difficult in these cars. But the high side you could really make work early, but it was like risk versus reward. If you went up there early, you were going to pay for it later in the run just from the heat on the tires. I don't think it was really wear as much as it was heat, but it was really tiptoeing of trying to find clean air and also what lane to run, when to run it, how to run it. And then there at the end, all the no tires, 2 tires, 4 tires. We took 4. I wasn't going to risk the car getting any tighter than it already was tonight. And I think y'all saw in that battle with Garrett Johnson there at the end, if y'all saw any of that, he was on 2, and his car just got tight enough, and I had just enough grip on the 4 to get up under him, and that was what did him in. And then we were catching Kyle Smalley there at the end little by little, but he had a dominant car all night, so kudos to him. I mean, class of the field tonight, him and Wyatt. So the fact that we took a 8th to 12th place car and finished 2nd, that's pretty much a win for me tonight.
Maxwell, you had a really good run there, obviously, to end the race here. You think if you'd had about 10, 15 more laps, you think you could have caught him there?
You hit the nail on the head. I was actually talking to Kyle about that down in the waiting room. I said, if I had another 10 to 15, I would have at least got to you. I said, but at that point, I don't know. The tires tended to try to equalize after about 10, 15 laps as far as trying to pass, and you would have to almost wait another 15 or 20 before you could start making any moves as people either destroyed their right front or saved it. So it was kind of a weird – it's like each run had like 3 different cycles in it. You had the beginning where you could choose what you did. You had the middle where everybody equalized, and the end where you could kind of choose again. So it was going to be close. I think I could have got to him on the tire difference with him on 2 and me on 4, but with his speed and his skill, I don't know if by the time I caught him, if I would have had enough tire left to have done anything.
Well, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Any shout-outs tonight?
Absolutely. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. What a blessing it is to come run over here on Wednesdays. And it's a stressful league, but it's a blessing to meet all these amazing people, to get to meet you guys in the booth. I mean, I got the opportunity to broadcast with you from it and have some fun again. So always a blessing to come over here each and every Wednesday night. Got to thank my teammates, Andrew Paleschi, Todd Merkel, Austin Call. He's a teammate, but he's on a different team because we're capped at 4. And then Justin Lewis, he did not have a good night tonight, but hoping he can rebound next week. Got to thank the sponsor, Merkel Racing Engines, for being on the hood. Sponsored me for multiple years now, and glad to continue to get this car up here close to the front, especially at these 1.5 miles where the points this year matter. Glad to get him represented in that. And then got to thank IWM and everything they do, man. What an awesome league this is. Car counts are always high each and every week. And the broadcasts you put on, Rick, are amazing. You got great talent there in the booth with you. And just, yeah, it's just a blessing to be here, man.
Oh, appreciate you. Congratulations on your finish, and we'll see you next week at Darlington.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Maxwell Caldwell finishing in second. And with that, we'll bring Kyle into the booth. Our first repeat winner here in the IWM series so far this season. Kyle, congratulations on your win. Man, you had some tough competition out there.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm on a little win streak here and heading to Darlington. It's one of my better tracks as well. But yeah, battling Wyatt and Jared most of the race, it's a lot of fun. Those guys are really good. I really don't know why Jared didn't pit that last caution. But I'll go ask him in a little bit. But yeah, it was a fun race. A lot more cautions than we were expecting. But I think I pitted all at the right times and ended up front.
The most you were was P6 today, and you just kind of dominated the whole day. You were always up in front. You had a couple restarts there where you restarted 4th, 5th, 3rd. Take us through, what do you think it took today to kind of pull off this win? Obviously, the track kind of got slicker as the night went on.
Yeah, iRacing's new rubber buildup has really changed how we do these races, because early in the run, the bottom works, and then once everyone runs in the bottom, then the top moves up. And so dirty air was a huge thing, because if you can't run the bottom, it's really hard to make passes. So if you just park it in the second lane in front of people, they can't really do anything. So during those restarts, you just have to get to the front and get as much clean air as fast as you can. So that was my plan.
Well, apparently it worked.
Yeah, I love this track. It's a lot of fun. I wish the setup was a little bit better. It's still very right front dependent, so it's kind of not as fun as it should be. But that's what you got when you got these fixed setups, and 75% fuel doesn't help as well.
Well, always a challenge here. Well, congratulations on your win. Any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, of course. Everyone at Balls Out Racing, we had kind of a down day with everyone getting caught in wrecks or internet situations, but hopefully my win helped us out a little bit in the points. Our guys did get stage points there at the beginning, so that helps. Jared over at Elite Designs and Diecast Fans, you guys for broadcasting. Also want to give a shout out to my dad here. Back when him and I first started racing iRacing back in 2019, we had the strategy back in the ARCA cars where if you didn't go hard the first 5 or 10 laps, then you were really fast at the end. And that's what I kind of did here. And it seemed to really help. So just a shout out to him and I figuring out that strategy back in the day, and then still remembering to do it. And then you guys for broadcasting, Elliot for doing this league. I'm sure tonight was tough with all the cautions and whatnot. So yeah, on to Darlington next week.
Sounds great. Yeah, I guess we'll see you next week at Darlington. Congratulations. All right, you're welcome. That's your winner tonight. Kyle Smalley brings home the win here at Las Vegas. Any other thoughts here, before we say goodnight?
No, I think just a great but chaotic night overall, and you saw a lot of good racing. You saw a lot of guys who came up to the front. They took advantage of the cautions that we had and just found themselves in a good position tonight. And stage points are everything in this league now. And as we change the format, obviously, you can see there on the screen, J.R. Houston up from 40th. I mean, everybody just took advantage of it all night long. And good win for Smalley. good runs for Caldwell and Johnson as well. And these little guys here, they're starting to come up now. And I keep an eye out on Smalley as the season goes on for sure. He's definitely been the car to beat.
All right, well, that wraps up tonight's broadcast of our Pennzoil 200 here in Las Vegas. Stay tuned for next week. We will bring you the Darlington Cookout 200, I believe. But tomorrow night, we will be right here, same time, same channel, with the INRS Racing Series at Darlington. So for Noah and myself, thanks for tuning in. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks.